welcome back to my kitchen. How are you guys doing? Hope everybody is doing amazing. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to prepare this very easy but also extremely delicious flour chips. Okay, this is a very popular snack here in Ghana and it is so easy to prepare. I'm going to be teaching you in today's video the easiest way to prepare it for it to turn out so crunchy, so yummy, in such a way that you will enjoy it and your children, your guests will also enjoy it. So stay tuned. So for this recipe, you are going to be needing your all-purpose flour. You'll also be needing some margarine, or you can use butter. I also have here some salt, grated onion and grated garlic. I'll also be adding a small amount of sugar, baking powder, and yes, this is basically all the ingredients you need for this recipe. I have the exact measurements of each of the ingredients in the description box and in the comment section, so you can check it out. So to begin with, I'm going to be pouring my all-purpose flour into a bowl, preferably a bowl big enough because you are going to be doing a lot of mixing and kneading. And as you can see, I added in my sugar and my baking powder, and I'm just going to mix that all up together. Then after that, I am going to be adding in my margarine. In this particular recipe, I used margarine, but you can use butter, the same quantity of butter, and it is going to turn out amazing. Okay, so now you can see that I have mixed it in very well. I have incorporated the margarine well into the flour mixture. So now I'm going to be adding my onion, garlic, and then salt. So these are for flavoring. Okay, this is what is going to give the flour chips that secret kick that makes it so delicious. So these are the ingredients. Okay, you add that in. Then I'm going to create a small well and then add in my water in small bits. I'm going to also be giving the exact quantity of water I added to achieve the consistency I wanted in the description box and pinned in the comment section. But then you would want to add the water in little bits to make sure that it turns out with the consistency you want and it doesn't come out too soft. Okay, so I'm going to continue to knead it for some time till I get the consistency that I want. So at this point, I have kneaded it for about 10 minutes. I've gotten the consistency that I want. So I'm going to be dividing it in 3 parts while I let it sit for some time to rest. So I allowed it to rest for about 15 minutes. And now I'm just going to powder my surface, powder my rolling pin, and then I'm going to just roll this dough out. Okay. So for the first part of the dough, you can see I'm leaving it in real time so that you can see the process very well into detail. Okay, so you want to take your time, roll it out very well so you get the flatness that you want. While we do that, if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button to join the family, and also click on the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you are first to be notified and you can watch it early and get all the good information early enough. Okay, and also if you've been watching for a while without subscribing, please click on the subscribe button. Thank you. So I have rolled it, and this is the thickness that I am going for. Okay, if you want your flour chips to turn out very crunchy, you would want it to be quite thin. Okay, so that is the thickness that I rolled it up to. And then I'm just going to go ahead with my pizza cutter or pastry cutter to cut it out like this. You can also use a knife to cut it out. Okay, there are actually so many ways you can go about cutting this up, and I'm going to be showing you 3 ways in this particular video, but then you can also use a knife. Okay, so the first way is to use the pizza cutter to cut it in these diagonal slices after I have cut it into the big rectangles. Okay, so after dividing it into rectangles like I did, I'm now going to take each one and then slice it in diagonals, in thin diagonals, to give you that shape that you want. Okay, and this is the first way to go about it. Personally, this is my favorite way, but then there are other ways to go about it, which I'll be showing you later in the video. So now the second way to go about this is to use a scissors. Okay, this is actually the most common way that it is done in Ghanaian homes, because multiple people can be cutting different pieces at the same time. So mostly what happens is, after you have divided it into those big triangles, you just share it for the children in the house, and everybody just has fun with it and then cuts it with the scissors like this. So this is also another method. So after dividing it, you're just going to now take each piece and then you take your scissors and then you cut it in this way. Okay, while we do that, don't forget to go on my channel, click on my channel icon. It will take you to all my videos, and then you would get so many other recipes like this one in my channel. Okay, I have a whole playlist that has different recipes in it. The playlist is titled Easy Recipes. So just click on my channel, click on playlist, and you will see lots and lots of Ghanaian recipes, ranging from soups to stews to pastries. You are going to find it all there. Okay, so now I am rolling the second part that I divided, and I'm going to show you the third way to cut your flour chips. So with that, you are going to cut it into small rectangles, which is, after making your vertical lines through the flat dough, you are now going to cut through it horizontally like this. Okay, this is actually the fastest out of the 3 methods that I have taught you in this recipe. But then for some reason it's just my least favorite. I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I don't really get that diagonal shape, but it is really the fastest. So if you are making a very big batch and you don't have all the time to be cutting it individually with the pastry cutter or with the scissors, you can just go ahead and then cut it in that particular fashion. Okay. So after cutting up all of your flour chips, you are going to want to put some oil on fire, and flour chips is deep fried. Okay, so I personally like to use a small pan so that you don't need to pour too much oil to achieve that deep frying state, if you get what I mean. So I pour in enough oil into my small pan. Then I'm going to drop in one piece like you saw earlier to test when the oil becomes hot. Now when the oil becomes hot, you will notice that it will float. Then I'm going to add in my chips. Add in enough to fill the pan but not to overcrowd the pan. Okay, then I'm just going to swirl it around in the pan, make sure that they are not sticking together, and then just allow it to fry. Flour chips does not take long to fry at all. Okay, if you fry it for long, it is going to come out burnt. It does not take long to fry at all. So for about 5 minutes it's going to be done frying. Okay, you would notice that it is going to begin to brown in color, but you don't have to wait for it to become completely brown before you remove it from the oil. Otherwise, by the time you remove it, it is going to burn, because after you remove it, it cooks further while it is cooling down. Okay, so when you notice it begins browning and you even begin to feel it hardening as you stir it, then you know it's ready. So then at this point, you remove it from the oil and put it on your tray, which you have laced with some tissue to soak some of the oil. Okay, and that's basically how to fry flour chips. So after removing everything from the oil, you are going to want to spread it on your pan so that it can cool down and harden further. Okay, so the cooler it becomes, the harder it becomes. So it may not necessarily be so crunchy immediately you remove it from the oil, but then as it cools down, it will become very, very crunchy. Okay, so just spread it on the pan and let it cool down while you fry the rest of your badges. And in the same fashion, don't allow it to become too brown before you remove it from the oil. After about 5 minutes, when you stir it, you would notice that the chips have begun hardening in the oil. Then you know that this is ready. Okay, just so you understand what I really mean by it not being too brown, so this is the color at which I'm going to remove it. Okay, so with that color, it is not as white as it was when the pastry was freshly cut. At the same time, it's also not very brown. Okay, so when it reaches that color, you can start removing it out. If you'd notice, by the time I even remove it to the end, it's even more browner. So yes, so this is basically it. I have fried all my badges and my flour chips is ready. Guys, this flour chips was so delicious. It was so crunchy. It was very, very, very flavorful. And I served it with some coated peanuts. You know, here in Ghana, we eat flour chips with some coated peanuts, and that combination is delicious. Super, super amazing. And trust me, I'm going to bring you how to make this coated peanuts at home. It is equally very easy to prepare. You can make it very, very easy to go with your flour chips. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to make Ghana coated peanuts. So delicious to go with your flour chips. Okay, so I hope you try this recipe out. I hope this video was very helpful, and I hope that you are going to make it for your family, your friends, and then for your kids. They are going to totally enjoy it. So please try this recipe out. Let me know how it went. You can tag me on social media when you try it out, just so I know how much you loved it. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay safe. Bye bye.